All right, so I want to make this video because one, I'm not limited to 15 seconds. I'm not limited to 60 seconds. So I'm able to say a little bit more on this one, and hopefully it goes well. It's not a whole lot I want to say, but I do want to share some of the stories for today. So what I'm doing is I was driving some Uber, and I get to meet some people this way. So person number one. Oh, by the way, why I do and don't want to do this. I mean, well, the reason I'm doing this versus the reason I'm not doing this. So I'm not doing this to draw any attention to myself, really. More so, I want to use this video to encourage you to be able to reach out to people also. If I can do it, and you'll see, like, I'm not doing the most special, out there kind of type of thing. What I can do, you can do. So, that's another reason. I'm making this video to encourage you to be able to get out, because that's needed. So also, I want to look at some of the challenges, some of the things that I faced with some of the people that I had that might have discouraged me, and how I went along with it and was able to, give them a little something still. So first person today that I picked up, he was very energetic all over the place, and a few very interesting things about him. The profanity level was super high with this guy. It's not that he was mad, he was happy, but it was just a lot of cursing, a whole lot of cursing. So what's interesting is that this guy was on his way to church. So imagine that. And then on the way there, he was, talking to me, talking on the phone. And when he was talking to me, primarily the thing he was talking about the most was, I don't know if it was his wife or his girlfriend now, but of 15 years in this argument that they had gotten into. And, what it was that happened for her to get angry and to, get on his case, and how he was coping with it, how he was dealing with it. So that was a topic of conversation, and I listened, I chimed in a little bit here and there when I could, and yeah, it was quite a trip. Towards the end of it, I explained to him that, I like to, there are these things that I like to share. By the way, when I say glow tracks, I mean, these things, they're based on different topics. So, and all sorts of, well, I didn't give them this one, but, just another one. And these are the types of things that I hand out. These and some others I have, so that people can stay and read. It leaves them thinking, and a lot of people actually thank me. And such was the case with this guy. I believe he did thank me, and then, he went off to church. So that was one guy. I could have been discouraged because, I mean, his profanity level, and it didn't seem like that it would have been received well, and that topic would have been, well introduced, but God found a way. So there was another person, right? So this guy, I don't know how many trips later, this guy was Peruvian, and I say that because he asked me what I was. After a while, he came in, and he too was super social, talkative, very energetic, and then he asked me where I was from, right, as mentioned. And I told him, from Puerto Rico. And what's super interesting is that as soon as I said this guy jumps on his phone, loads up Wisin y Yandel, and starts blasting reggaeton. It's just like, oh man, like, that's a pass, but I didn't tell him that. He was just, happy. So, let him keep that so that we could, continue conversation. And he also talked to me about politics, whether I was Democrat, Republican, and, I'm kind of neither. I just, I know they both got good things and they both got bad things. So I explained a little bit of, my points of view from there, and I asked him some questions about his, which was good. This conversation was able to build up. Now, why do I say this? Because it's good to have some awareness of what's going on and be able to connect with people. Even if look, I don't know much about politics, I'll admit that. But the thing is that I was able to sustain the conversation, and this kind of, kept it going and won over his friendship to some degree. And so what this allowed me to do is eventually, I don't know what it was that introduced it, but we got to talk about things pertaining to faith, about God. It wasn't much, but actually this guy too, like as soon as I said Puerto Rican, that I'm Puerto Rican, this guy's like, you know what? No, actually that was towards the end. Sorry, I'll get to that part. So I started, this is when I was dropping him off, at his place. I think he was going to a Walmart, and, yeah, I hand him, some of the tracks that you saw. And, he talks about how he goes to church also. And how God is always looking after us, and, he's watching over us. And I agree. I just said definitely things that I agree with. And we talked a little bit more about, his church and mine, just a little bit. And he's like, I had a feeling I would like you. You remind me of Mark Anthony. And I'm like, But you know, it's just good. It's just so he took the glow tracks. He was very thankful. I gave him two, I believe, and he was just looking over them. And you know, I trust and pray that he will read it. And you know, they have these different Bible study links in the back. And so that's another situation, another story. It's just a way that you take someone who's definitely, his appearance was super worldly looking too. You know, he's into the whole hip hop scene and everything. And you never know. I could have been like, this guy's not interested. He's not going to receive it well. But you got to, you know, roll with the conversation a little bit and find the angle. You know, God will show you. You'll be able to do it. So now the third and final story. So, I mean, I picked up more people, but this is just a different situation. I pick up this woman, this lady, and she, you know, seemed a little bit on the thin side and everything. And when she jumps in the car, the first thing I couldn't help but notice was she smells very strongly of weed. So whether she's doing it or someone else is, and she was around, is a different story. I didn't ask her. But, you know, we start some conversation, and it's back and forth because she's also on the phone and then talks to me, and then on the phone, and she's, you know, texting and so forth. And what's interesting is that this person didn't look like they would be interested at all in things having to do with God as well. And I couldn't connect with her too much on sustained conversation. But we did get to talk about some you know, a variety of things. And eventually the opportunity came, you know, where I was able to say that I'm basically just visiting, that I go to school in Michigan, right? And so I'm here visiting, and I was, by the way, going to school in Michigan. That's what I'm doing over there. So naturally, you know, most people ask, well, what are you doing studying in Michigan? Well, that opens the door to tell them exactly what I'm doing. You know, I'm doing a master's in divinity. I'm in the seminary, same thing. And she actually got you know, some curiosity. She asked a few questions. She knows what that is. And she actually asked me some follow-up questions. They weren't, you know, too much, but she actually showed some interest in continuing the conversation that has to do with, you know, like working for God in the church and these kind of things. So, you know, you take what you're given, right? And then we talked about something else. Can't remember what exactly too much. At the end of the trip, you know, same thing. Here's a lady. She was picking up her car somewhere far away, and I was able to hand her 1 or 2 glow tracks as well. She was thankful, you know, very kind. One might not have expected that. You know, I could have just, all right, this lady might be high, I don't know. I could have just minded my business, focus on the trip, get to where I need to go safely, leave her alone on her phone. But I mean, that would have been a lost opportunity. You know, this guy who was, you know, who looked like a thug kind of, that would have been a lost opportunity. The other guy that was cursing up a storm, another guy too that I met, he was from the Middle East somewhere, you know. I don't know. You know, these are people that definitely he may not have been familiar with Christianity, because I didn't get to bring that topic up. But at the end, he too got a track and he received it. So the thing is that we don't know, we you know, what people are going through, and you know, different struggles they have, and I mean, never know. You might be that angel that God sends for that very moment. Will they read it? I don't know, but they have the opportunity. They were receptive. You know, I would like to use this opportunity to encourage you. When you see even random people, it doesn't have to be random people either, by the way. You can work with your family. You can work with your friends. Just get started, though. I really want to encourage and motivate you to go ahead and, like, really try to find a way to be a soul winner. You know, bring people closer to God. Some of us, you know, talk about, yeah, we believe Jesus is coming soon, but we don't really act like it because we're not winning anybody over. So and this is way too common. And, you know, the other scary thing, and I say scary because we've become complacent. You know, we get in these comfort zones and we think we're working for God because we show up to church. We get there like at 11:30 in the morning. We leave quick, and, you know, that's it. We've done our duty. We went to church. Like, nah, man, get out of here. Like, I'm gonna be straightforward with you. That's not it. That's not it. You know, we can do more for God, and it shouldn't be because we're pressured into it. I mean, you know, connect with Him on a friendship, on a real level. And the thing is, like, if I can do these things, I need to do this more. You know, and you do too. You know, you might be super out there. Then encourage others to do that too. Those of us who are out there working, bring others, train them, teach them. Those of us who are not doing it, you know, develop friendships with people who are. Pray to God. Start. You know, there's a lot of things going on in this world. People need to know about God. So I want to encourage you, invite you. If you have questions, if you don't know how, send me a message, leave a comment, take it to prayer. But just really, let's elevate each other and let's really try to get a knowledge of God just more available to this world. Be a part of that. Bring someone closer to God. Have I said that enough? So I'm going to bring this video to an end. I hope that there's a few gems that you were able to take out of it. I had no idea this was going to take 10.5 minutes. But I hope it's been beneficial. Let me know if you are doing this, exchange ideas, leave a comment, say, the types of things that you're doing, how it's working out, anything to encourage people. But let's get out there. Let's make a difference. Can we do that? Do we agree? All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.